Joyner Lucas has certainly managed to wriggle his way into the corny rapper conversation. You know the rappers. You know the likes of them. The modern day Eminem, the Logics, the Chance the Rapper recently added to that conversation. Although to be honest, he was kind of always part of that in my eyes. But the big day definitely pushed him well into the pool of corny rappers. And you know what? I didn't really mind Joyner Lucas at the beginning. I really didn't. I mean, I never loved him, but I thought he had some really good songs. In fact, I think there's even a positive review of his last album on my channel somewhere, although I don't think it fully holds up, to be honest, because I haven't really gone back to it at all. But I was kind of confused to see people mock him and act like he was one of the worst rappers out there at the moment, because the album really wasn't that bad. So going into ADHD, I was kind of hesitant, didn't really think it was going to bring that much, because again, not really gone back to his older stuff, so it's not like I'm a fan of him. And I've got to be honest, this is bad. This is really not good. Like, this is not helping hip hop in 2020 at all. I don't think hip hop's having a particularly strong year, and albums like this are really just dogpiling the complete mediocre and even bad releases I've heard in the genre so far this year. Now, I'm not trying to throw an entire genre under the bus, because that would be stupid, because obviously it's only April, but I think this year isn't really giving us best in hip-hop. And Joyner Lucas certainly isn't here to save the day, because ADHD is just an album that has no idea what it wants to be. Like, it really doesn't have any idea what it wants to be at all. It's really frustrating to listen to, because you can see that Joyner Lucas is trying to like delve into some trendier sounds. He really wants to be not just a lyrical, miracle, spiritual, rapper anymore. He's really trying to be a bit more like diverse, and each attempt at something slightly different is just so bad. Like, he can't pull it off. He's really not got a good singing voice. He slathers his voice in auto-tune sometimes. He brings on some really bad features. And then there's the theme of the album, which is ADHD, with this terrible album cover trying to depict his struggles with ADHD. And I'm not trying to diminish those struggles, because I know ADHD is really very difficult to understand. So many people don't even think it's a thing. Like, some people just think it's a myth. Honestly, you hear parents and that kind of stuff like say things like that all the time, but like, I'm not trying to diminish that. But his attempt at telling his story and giving us an insight into what he feels and how he lives as a person is just awful. I learned nothing about him on this album, and he tells us virtually nothing. The theme is so friggin' loose. Like, there's occasionally this skit where this awful voice actor comes in and acts as his dad or something, and is like, talking to him, and like, he's really a piece of shit. It's not really nice to hear, but like, the acting is terrible. Like, who are these voices? Who are doing these voices? Like, it sounds so cartoonish. It doesn't sound like we're listening to something that's trying to teach us about something that we don't know about. Like, it just sounds like really poor skits that don't really come across as very tasteful. And then aside from that, like, the songs don't even like tell us anything. Like, they don't. He's just not. He's considered a lyrical rapper, but like, listening to his lyrics, I'm just like, what are you even talking about most of the time? Like, he has so many terrible one-liners that pop out. Friggin' wanting to sleep with Madonna line on 10 Bands is like stupid. Some of the lyrics on the track ISIS are really bad as well. Like, I actually think ISIS and 10 Bands are the two best tracks, and here I am slating them already, but they have actually some really strong beats. I think the beat selection here, I think, on these two tracks was actually quite strong. Honestly, ISIS to me sounds like something that could have made it on to Oxymoron by Schoolboy Q, which I know some people may think that's a bit of a weird comparison, but I actually think it is that kind of banger, kind of explosive, punchy hip-hop track that would fit onto an album like that. And it is named after, a terrorist organization for some reason, even though the lyrics just don't really match at all. It's just like, this beat is is deserving of way better rappers than Joyner Lucas and Logic, especially when Logic comes in. It's like, Jesus Christ, what are you even saying? Immediately after that, we get The War, which is a complete change in pace. This track does not fit right after ISIS. It's so weird, the fucking sequencing of this. Like, why would this come right after? I don't know. And the thing is as well, is that Young Thug is on here, and my God, he is not putting in his best performance here at all. Like, he's far from it. He's usually vibrant, he's usually colourful, exciting, enigmatic, all those words that you could throw at him. He's all those things. And on this track, he's just none of those things, because it's a Joyner Lucas album, I guess, so all of those enjoyable things just seem to not be there anyway. Devil's work is so weird, the way he's talking about how, like, he wants God, well, I assume, well, the devil to take away people like Donald Trump and Martin Shkreli, or whatever he was called whenever he was popping in the news, and some other people that aren't good, and then replace them with Tupac and the people that are good. It's just such a weird song. Like, why would you say this? Like, I just don't get the lyrical idea behind this. It's really weird. It's so weird. We got the track Finally later on in the album, which interpolates, finally it's happened to me. You know the song. Really weak interpolation. Sorry. We got Chris Brown on this track. We got the one track I love, which sounds like a Travis Scott knockoff. It really sounds like Oh My Decide, where he's like, love, 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 love. And then if you put in oh my, that bit in Travis Scott's song, it's just like, this sounds like you're really trying to branch out into something else. Like, you're really not, because you end up sounding like other people, and you're sounding like you're doing it in a really poor way as well. Title track, which tries to give us some kind of insight into ADHD again, but Joyner Lucas just isn't a strong enough writer in giving us that insight, that detail that you'd need to pull off a song like this, and the album in general. But this track, man, sounds straight up like Juice WRLD. Like, it just sounds like something Juice WRLD would have made. Again, Joyner here is just trying to dabble in these different sounds, this emo trap thing that he's doing, and I don't know, I never really enjoyed Juice WRLD's music, so this track really isn't appealing to me at all anyway. And it just sounds really bad. It sounds really whiny. His voice is awful. Lyrically, again, what are we even getting here? I don't know. The closing track's instrumental is really bad as well. Like, Jesus Christ, the soul sample that keeps popping up in the mix really sounds awful. How can you ruin a vocal soul sample? Like, you can't ruin soul, and yet you did. What is this sample? It sounds awful. It's like this screechy voice. It doesn't even fit with the beat. Jesus Christ, his ear for music is really not good. Like, listening to this album, I was just like, this is really reminds me of Eminem these days, where he just picks terrible beats, terrible hooks. Like, Joyner Lucas is another Eminem in the making, to be honest. Like, again, we're getting so many bad moments here that just make me wonder, like, why are you picking these beats? Where are they coming from? Why are you picking these hooks? Why are you singing like this? You don't work on any of this, really. It's just a strange listen from start to finish. Anyone that calls him a lyrical rapper, you're fooling me, because there's rarely a moment where I'm like, wow, that lyric, that bar, oof. Maybe the intro, I'll give the intro track a bit of a pass, because it's this touching on humbleness, and how the money kind of got in the way and he lost his stride, he lost who he really is. I think those kind of tracks can be pretty good sometimes, but other than that, I'm just kind of pulling at straws, really. I'm just kind of trying to think of anything that's like, oh, this is good, occasionally good beat, but that's about it. It's I think this is quite a bad album, to be honest. I'm gonna go 4 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts on this Joyner Lucas album, ADHD. Maybe you like it more than me. Maybe you'll find something about it that you can at least praise more than I can. But nah, not for me. This one. Let me know your thoughts. If you think it's bad, also let me know. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Subscribe. Goodbye.